I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before, and we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
2016, year of the snake. It's time for a change in the White House, y'all. Bring it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We're a little late today, but we're going to tell you about it. We're going to tell you about what we were doing today, and good day. It's a good day. Welcome to the show, everybody. Please click the share button. Let folks know we are live. Share with your friends. As you know, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, they all shadow ban me and suppress my reach a lot. How's it going, Cindy? How's it going, Scott? How's it going, William? I am home from the Capitol. Yes, I'm warming up. It was a little cold out there. How's it going, Lenny? Good to see you. Donna, how's it going? So we're just letting some folks come on in. Click the share button. Let folks know we are here. Yeah, it's probably bringing in the audio both from the video and through my speakers. That's how you get the stereo. Still working out the bugs. I know, right? I know, right, Nick? If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. That's right. That's right. Jeannie, good to hear. Penny, how's it going? Everybody, Fred Schneider, we love him. That is our brother right there. How's it going, Audra? Yeah, I'll show you the link. I'll share the link with you, William. You can also just look it up. Laser Snake, Lazer Snake, Make America Great Again. But I'm happy to send you the link. Hello, Carol. How are you? There's my Munkin. Mwah. Sorry we're up so late, Chris. Hey, Connie. How's it going? Great day. Great day. Come on, strong. Make America great again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. You are watching the one and only Trump Talk US live in DC with Suzzanne Monk. Let's pause you, deplorable choir. We love you. We love you, deplorable choir, but we're going to pause you for right now. Happy Acquittal Day, everybody. I was just over at the Capitol building, which, as you know, is 8 minutes away, 2.2 miles away from where I am. We were over there. They had a little protest. They were upset that Donald Trump was acquitted. Yeah, I want to, of course, give a shout out to Chris McDonald representing Trump Talk US. He is our Munkin in the room, sharing links, greeting patriots, doing everything I can't do with my two hands. And we really, really love and appreciate everything he does for the show. Of course, President Nutcracker is actually still recovering from last night's epic State of the Union address. I don't even have him out of the bag yet. He's literally still in the bag. He didn't drink. He's not that kind of nutcracker, you guys. Come on. Of course, also want to check out the DemocratsAreNuts.com, President Nutcracker's new news site, which is, we're having a good time with that. It is a real news site, but the comments, the quotes from these crazy Democrats are satire. You couldn't tell because they say some pretty crazy things, and it's makes it easy to make it up. I want to give a shout out to my dear friend Diane Ventura and the Trump Towel folks. We love those guys. And of course, to our sponsor, sendmeg.com. If you're in the New England, New York, Ohio, or Ontario area, and you have any delivery needs, hazmat delivery, medical delivery, technical delivery, any kind of thing that you need to get from one place to the next, our sponsor is going to be your best source. Sendmeg.com. We love her so much. All right, you guys. Happy Acquittal Day. I hope you all watched the State of the Union speech. Let's just start a little bit with that. The State of the Union speech, of course, great speech. The Democrats didn't like it, okay? The Democrats couldn't stand up for equality. They couldn't stand up for trees. They couldn't stand up for children getting an education. They couldn't stand up for the Tuskegee Airmen. They couldn't stand up for any of that, right? Thank you, Lisa. Good to see you on the show. Yes. Trump 2020, MAGA 2024. We have to keep making America great. Make America great always. 2024. We have to keep going with this. Trump will have done his job. It's going to be our job to pick up the pieces, move forward, keep going, keep that ball running. It's going to be so, so important. So the State of the Union speech, absolutely fantastic. Trump laid down thing after item of the successes that President Trump has put on the books in this country. He also called the Democrats out. He called the Democrats out on the things that they're not doing. Talked about school choice, had a wonderful young lady who received a scholarship there during the State of the Union. She was notified that she would be getting a scholarship that would allow her to go to a school of her choice. We are now in a situation where the federal government is trying to fix what the state education system isn't capable of. And part of the reason the states aren't capable of that is we have taken over too much power of the federal government. Trump has been cutting that back, but we still have these problems, particularly when it comes to school choice. The states individually have different rules on school choice across the country. So people, students, families are left out in the cold. And that's absolutely crazy. Trump working very hard to rectify that. He talked about Space Force. It was such an amazing moment to see the young gentleman, great-grandson of the oldest Tuskegee Airman. Fantastic to see him standing there with his great-grandfather, who was also honored during the speech. And of course, the thing that's really getting the liberals upset, well, before the Acquittal Day, Rush Limbaugh receiving the Medal of Freedom right there during the State of the Union speech, Melania Trump pinning it on him. Such a touching moment. Whether you care, whether you love Rush Limbaugh, whether you've enjoyed his work, whether you don't, you have to have felt the heartstrings tug at that moment, because here is a man who has dedicated his life to politics, dedicated his life to punditry, dedicated his life to sharing information and educating people about these issues, about conservative values, holding the feet to the fire of the Republicans and the Democrats for decades, and to have that honored by a president who understands the value of real reporting and of integrity when it comes to journalism. So powerful. And, the left is all freaked out. Oh, we shouldn't give it to talk show hosts because it demeans the medal. Well, Obama gave out 30 one day. He gave out more medals of freedom than any other president by far. One day he gave out 30, and one of those was to Ellen DeGeneres, talk show host. So Democrats are a bunch of hypocrites. I don't know what to tell you. Can't help them. I know, it was a great moment, right? It was a great up. Yes, Jeannie, I'm going to post this up. Rush Limbaugh, he has woke up so many people, me for one, and has been doing that for so long. So great State of the Union address. As we all know, it ended with a little bit of a temper tantrum. Nancy Pelosi, apparently she was so upset that Trump was president. Trump didn't shake her hand. Maybe they gave her a copy of the speech that wasn't correct again. She was so mad. She ripped the speech in half. Now, here's the problem. That copy of the speech is actually an official document that is presented by the president. See, the president in our little thing right here, the State of the Union address is actually in this Constitution. Did you know that? Not the address itself, but the president's regular responsibility to report on the State of the Union to Congress. That's why he goes and says it on the floor of Congress, you see? Because in the Constitution, it says this president should, from time to time, report on the State of the Union to Congress. That's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. So he goes, he sits in front of Congress, and he does the speech. Now, those pieces of paper are literally part of the process of delivering the information, the State of the Union, to Congress. Trump did his constitutional duty. Nancy violated the Constitution and code by destroying government public property, particularly property that was, in this case, deliberately delivered by the President of the United States to report to Congress what the State of the Union was. So, yeah, they're melting down. They're melting down, these crazy Democrats. Now, so let's move forward to today. We had a wonderful time at Trump International watching the State of the Union address. Nigel Farage, so many different people were there. So awesome. We had a great night. Wake up. It is Acquittal Day. We're so excited it's Acquittal Day. We're like, yay, Acquittal Day. What happened in the vote? So I watched the vote take place. It was tortuous to actually watch the vote take place because, in fact, you had to listen to them read these dumb articles of impeachment. And if you haven't read the articles, if you haven't heard the actual text of the articles of impeachment, please read these dumb documents they have put together, because it's like, let's see. It's like, you remember when you were a kid and you would make up fake languages, but you didn't really make up a language. It's not like you wrote Klingon or something and like this sound means that. You just started saying that is the emotional equivalent, the intellectual equivalent to these impeachment articles. The Democrats, in what they think happened, in the inclusion of the information, the accusations, the danger President Trump poses to the world in these articles. That was the most painful part, is reading the articles. Now, of course, they did the vote. 48 to 52 on Article 1, 47 to 53 on Article 2 for acquittal. Now, why are those two numbers different, Suzzanne? That seems weird. Did somebody vote one way on one article and one way on the other article? Yeah, somebody did. His name is not going to CPAC. Mitt not going to CPAC, Mitt Romney. Mitt not going to CPAC, Romney. That's his name. Mitt Romney voted guilty on the first article, not guilty on the second article. Now, I cannot tell you what he thinks he's doing. I cannot tell you what he thinks that's going to solve. I suspect he's going to try to say, I thought clearly, and that was I felt that this article merited a guilty, I don't know how, because none of your other Republican friends actually found that to be true, including Susan Collins, including Lisa Murkowski, including many of the Republicans we have come to know to vote the wrong way. The wrong way. Nate, I am sorry. No, I do not support Bill Clinton. I do not support Bill Clinton, nor do I support the Bush family dynasty. So I, of course, I'm going to put his comment up. LOL, you support one of the biggest traitors in American history. Unfortunately, no. I don't support the Clinton dynasty or the Bush dynasty. And those traitors are the ones who put us in this situation, literally the situation that we're in. In fact, it was Hillary Clinton selling uranium one rights to Russia. It was the Biden family, the Romney family, to be fair, Dianne Feinstein with her Chinese spy, the Bidens over there with the Burisma situation. You know, it's funny because the charges that were against President Trump in the quote unquote impeachment were literally a projection entirely of the exact actions on video of Joseph Biden. Okay. The person who colluded with Russia, the person who literally used a quid pro quo with the Ukrainian government, withheld government aid and government money. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, working on the board of Burisma, is now under investigation. In fact, he has been named in charges, as has the Joe Biden family, have been named in charges and will be further investigated for the fraud that has already been convicted. There's already fraud. Other individuals, the CEO of Burisma, for example, has already been convicted of fraud. So it's not like there's not a question of fraud. There's obviously fraud. Fraud has already been determined. Where the Bidens play into that fraud is continuing to be investigated. So it's going to be funny. It's going to be very funny to see. Now I'm going to just show this is the left. This is the left. We're going to just talk about this for a second. Jesus will not look kindly on you people. Okay, first off, who's this you people? Right? I thought we didn't do that yet. Secondarily, I don't think Nate knows Jesus, because to suggest that Jesus is not going to look kindly on anyone is to not know Jesus. So literally Jesus is MO. 100%. To look kindly on everyone, including sinners, including hateful sinners who try to use God to manipulate you for political reasons. These crazies. So the vote happened. Acquittal. Now, I was down at the protest today. So hello, Rebecca. How's it going? Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you sharing and inviting people to support the page. So the acquittal passed. Great. Senators are coming out. There was, of course, a protest down at the Capitol. Now, I just want to tell you a little bit about. We went down today. I was down there with Ben Burkham, our great patriot from American Voices. I think that's his network. He was down there doing some interviews. We got to see a chance. We got to see some of the protesters, some of the leftists there with their pre-printed signs by refusefascism.org, national organization of communists and anarchists and leftists who seek to destroy the U.S. government. So they don't want America. It's kind of funny that they even care about the process of acquitting a president at all, because they don't want any government. It's kind of funny that they suggest that they have a problem with whoever's in the White House, because under their ideology, anyone in the White House, they're going to have a problem with, because they want the whole system shut down. So if you have a U.S. president, refusefascism.org is always going to oppose a U.S. president, because they don't support the United States as a governmental system. So if that's your ideology, your merit on the subject, your validity on the subject, that your opinion on the subject is moot. If what you're saying is, I don't want to participate in this Constitution at all, I don't want to participate in the government at all, I don't believe this is a valid government, than to get involved, get angry, and get upset when the system that you have already rejected is not working for you is stupid. It's stupid. It's not a rational ideology. And of course it's not, because it's literally set together like by an organization that is dedicated to bringing down the U.S. government. They said it in their protest. Jay McBanney, yes, it's so sweet. It's so cute. They were going to put his insults up here. No, not true. They don't support a clown with an IQ of 54 having the most important job in the world. I don't support Obama being president either. That was a horrible presidency. You're right. We should not elect leftists with low IQ. Probably why you shouldn't elect Bernie. You shouldn't elect Edge. Yes, do not elect leftists with low IQ. I agree, little liberal who wants to come on the show. Now, again, refusefascism.org, working, of course, with organizations such as Anti-Racist Action, which is another communist organization, BAM, or Beyond Any Means Necessary, another communist organization. On top of that, they themselves, refusefascism.org, is a communist organization. Their refusal of fascism is based on their ideology that they fight fascism because they're communists. Communism, if you understand the history of fascism and communism, they actually are a similar leftist ideology. They are a collectivist ideology. The difference is that fascism, Italian fascism, was a collectivist ideology for the nation of Italy. They wanted collectivism within the nation of Italy, much like the Nazis wanted collectivism within the nation of Germany. Social, democratic socialists. We voted it in. We want it inside our country. National socialists, national communists, national fascists. That's the difference. Communists, the communist movement that was fighting against Italian fascism was a global communist movement. They did not want individual sovereign nations to have a socialist ideology that would collectivize income within the nation. They wanted to collectivize income throughout the world. They want global communism, which means they want to destroy individual nation sovereignty. They don't believe in borders. They don't believe in national sovereignty. They don't believe in countries. They don't believe in countries. They believe in communism for a global system. Now, the problem is they have now decided to call everybody fascist who is on the right, which is the opposite of actual fascism, because we are not collectivists. We're capitalists. We believe in individual property rights that are protected right here in this Constitution. Is so important. We believe in individual liberty. We believe in a government by, of, and for the people making informed decisions and being protected from their government by obviously our Bill of Rights, but by the enumerated powers that are listed in this Constitution. The enumerated powers clearly defined. This is basically a handbook, a manual you have to operate your government as a citizen. This is what the government is going to do. This is how it's going to do it. This is what they can't do to you. This is what the president can't do. This is what the Congress can't do. This is what the Supreme Court can't do. And these are the rights that you have given by God, given by your creator, whether you think that's God or your mother. I don't care who you think created you. The reality is you are born with those rights. You are born with those rights. Rights to property, rights to personal safety, rights to life, liberty, property, the pursuit of happiness. You have a right to choose your own religion. You have a right to free speech. You have a right to peaceful assembly. You have a right to having a redress of grievances of the government. You have a right to bear arms. Those rights didn't come from the government. They didn't come from a system like communism. They didn't come from a system, collectivist system, where the state has all of the power and they grant the rights to the individual outside of the same gruel scoop you get as everybody else gets. Okay? They grant you that gruel scoop. In our system of government, we have those rights inherently born into us. We are born with the right to protect ourselves. We are born with the right of free speech. We are born with the right of peaceable assembly. The Constitution merely protects us from the state infringing on those rights. Ooh, that's a word. That's that big word that they always get upset about in the Second Amendment. Shall not infringe, shall not be infringed. This prevents infringing on those rights. Now, that's clearly the opposite of what these organizations, these leftist organizations want. Now, here's the reality. And I think it's funny, we get a few lefties that come in on the show. So, sweetie, it's not a democracy, it's a republic. That's right. There is no democracy under Trump or any other president. There was no democracy under Obama. There was no democracy under Clinton. There was no democracy under Bush Jr. or Sr. There was no democracy under George freaking Washington. We are a republic. We're a republic. What is a republic, Suzzanne? Let's teach some liberals today what a republic is. What's the difference between a republic and a democracy? Okay. In a republic, the rights of the individual are protected. It's not mob rule. So in other words, you can't just get 50% of the people in America to vote that you get to die. You have a right to life. You have a right to your life. And the country can't vote and say we get to shoot you. The country can't vote and 51% say, oh, we're going to take all of Mechanic 44's assets. Why? Well, we don't like him, and that's what we voted. That's a democracy. A democracy is a direct vote, a voting system, and then we count the votes. And whoever the mob rule is, whoever voted the most, whoever the majority is, wins. A republic is the opposite of that. A republic is the opposite. It is a system by which the individual rights. So you can't just get 50% of the country to vote and take away my life or my property or my freedoms, my right to bear arms, my free speech. You can't just vote and 50% of the country say, oh, Trump supporters aren't allowed to speak in public anymore. That would be a democracy. We live in a republic. You actually are protected. So you can say these things. You can say dumb things like there's no democracy under Trump. You have free speech. But you have free speech because it's protected under a system of republic, not under democracy. It would not be protected under democracy. Under democracy, majority rule would get rid of your rights. That's the difference. So please, somebody tell somebody on the left, we're a republic. And that's a very important thing, especially when your ideology is a crazy leftist ideology. You want to bring down the governmental system. This is actually protecting your right to say that. Under a democracy, we could just vote that you are not allowed to hate America. And if you hate America and you publicly hate America, we can put you in jail for doing that. That would be a democracy. We don't have that. We have a republic, which thank God for you guys, because y'all be in jail otherwise. Thank God. Thank God. So all of us here on the side of the Constitution are literally busy protecting the exact thing that gives you lefties, you fractional, poor, tiny portion of the population, protections for your crazy radical anti-American citizen, anti-individual liberty ideology. You are allowed to speak about it. You're allowed to go down. They can go and chant on the lawn of the Capitol as they did today. Okay? They can go and chant Trump guilty no matter what they say. Trump is guilty no matter what they say. You can say that. You don't have to be right. In a democracy, we could vote you couldn't chant anything that wasn't accurate. Nobody wants that. Not even you guys. And so it's what's so funny is the system that you actually work very hard to oppose is the exact thing protecting you. So it's an interesting thing. Hating America. Yes, this is so true, Aquarian. Hating America. You won't win friends, but you have that right. You have the right to hate America. That is correct. You have and the Constitution, the very thing they oppose is the thing that's protecting their right. It's so funny. It's ironic. It's ironic. It's ironic. Mechanic, I will assume anyone is lefty who, one, doesn't understand that we're a republic and thinks we're a democracy. Already, that is a leftist ideology. Two, actually believes the crazy impeachment crap that has come out of the Democrats. I don't know what else. Someone who doesn't understand the economic system of our country. These are lefties. You're on the left. Do you know where the line is? Figure it out. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. It's fun. It is funny. So, I love Valerie. Yes, Valerie says, yeah, I would like to do bad things to AOC, and chuckles, right? But see, they have the right. They have the right to say their stupid thing. In fact, they have the right to say whatever they want to on the floor of the Senate. We can't even arrest them for crimes they commit when they're saying things. We can't charge them with slander even over this. So it's hilarious. It's hilarious. So Aquarian says, what makes somebody a lefty? What makes somebody a lefty? Political ideology. Very simple question. What makes someone a lefty? A political ideology. Are you statist? Are you collectivist? Do you want to centralize power in the state? Or do you want to centralize power in the individual? Okay. That's why we say democracy versus republic. Okay. The left is on the democracy side. They want to centralize power in the state. They want to use the federal government to pay for everybody. They want to pay for everybody's health care. They want to pay for everybody's education. They want to tax people and then distribute that money out from the central government. Strong statist government. The opposite is a decentralized republic that protects the individual liberty. The basis of value is in the individual. The individual property rights are protected over the property rights of the state. Your property rights are actually protected from the state. Very different. I'm not talking about folks who want to support legalized marijuana. Legalized marijuana actually is a Republican issue. Barry Goldwater, a Republican, was the chosen candidate and chosen party of Jack Herrera, the founder of the legalization movement. Jack Herrera was a Goldwater Republican. So when I say lefty, I don't mean socially liberal ideas, because many of those are actually conservatively accurate. Gay marriage is a constitutionally accurate ruling. In fact, the 10th Amendment does specifically state, and well, let's just read it. I just love reading the 10th Amendment. It's my favorite. It's my favorite amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Or to the people. So that your right to choose your marital partner, that right is reserved to you. The federal government does not have the authority to tell you who you can marry and who you can't, constitutionally. So are these liberal ideas? Many people who call themselves a classical liberal or a social liberal will agree with many of those ideas. But when you're a lefty, it's about the economics and it's about private property rights. Do I own the property I make? Do I own the product of my labor? Can I negotiate the product of my labor for a wage? In other words, if I make 20 widgets in an hour, can I get paid by a company who needs me to make widgets? I own what I earn. I own what I possess. I own my assets. The state has authority over those things in a collectivist, leftist ideology, but in a right-wing, It's right by default, really. In a right-wing ideology, we protect the individual liberty. I am what we call a classical Republican. I support the Constitution and the Constitution of our founders, which suggests that, in fact, we want the government as small as possible. We want the government out of your business as possible. We don't think the government should be telling you what to do, what to wear, what to eat, how to raise your kids, how to feed your family, what to shoot, when to shoot, where to shoot, what kind of property own, all of that. Now, those are actually very liberal ideas. Do what you want, get the government off your back. But that's actually what a conservative ideology is based on. It's what traditional Republican, classical Republicanism is built on. So what makes me call you a lefty? If you're a collectivist, statist jerk. It's pretty straightforward. Pretty easy stuff. Let me see if I can find where that comment is so we can take that one off the screen. Mokanek, corruption. Hello, I agree 100%. We hate the corruption. I don't like the fact that Joe Biden threatened the Ukrainian government with the removal of aid or withholding of aid openly and publicly if they did not fire the prosecutor who was in the process of investigating and prosecuting his son. The vice president of the United States' son was being investigated by the prosecutor that Joe Biden demanded be fired, or he will not allow the U.S. government to hand over military aid. The stuff you're thinking Trump did is exactly what Biden did. Corruption, hello. There are no nepotisms, darling. Let's talk to him one more time. And we're going to close out this show for a minute. There are no nepotisms. I don't know what you're talking about. A nepotism would be, let's see what a nepotism would be. What is the definition of nepotism? Nepotism, let's read it. Because I know the definition, but I like to read the definition so that other folks, just so we're not taking my word for it. We don't have to disagree. We can agree. The practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. So what you're saying is a nepotist is someone who uses their position of power to give you a job or get you a job with friends that your power influences. For example, what if you had a son and you helped that son get a job in an energy firm in another country that you were dealing with directly, who had no experience in that firm, no reason to be in that job, actually only went to 2 days of work a year, even though he was paid $83,000 a month. So how do you explain Biden's nepotism? How do you explain it? Why, Lord Mac? Why? He says, let's talk Trump, not Biden. Why? You want to talk about the Ukrainian collusion. You want to talk about Ukrainian quid pro quo. The person who did that is Biden. He's still under investigation to this minute. In fact, increasing investigation. Now potential charges coming from the Ukrainian investigation. Do you guys ever notice that you defend your hatred of the president by saying, we don't want to talk about what anybody else has done. We only want to talk about what we say Trump has done. And oddly, you literally want to use the case in which Trump said, hey, is there some corruption going on there? Are you guys following up on the corruption? I know you were elected president of Ukraine. I know you were elected to work out the corruption. We've got some corruption, and some of it filters over back here to America. Some of those rabbit holes pop up here in the United States. So let's investigate that. Now, the argument, of course, is that Trump did all of this collusion, all of this business, all of this quid pro quo so that he could defeat Biden. I can't say that with a straight face. Okay. Breathe, Suzzanne. Say it with a straight face. You can do it. You can do it. Their argument is that Trump needed the Ukraine to investigate Biden, to drag down Biden's potential political career when he was going to run against the president, except for none of the stuff actually started happening when Biden was actually running for president. Okay. These instances were long before Biden was even a certain factor in the race. And here's what's hilarious about the whole thing. Biden, we don't need any help defeating Biden. Biden's defeating himself. He's not on top in the Iowa caucuses. He's not on top in the polls. In fact, he's down in the polls. You know who's doing well? Bernie, Buttigieg. Those are the people who did well in the Iowa caucus. In fact, one might argue that the Iowa caucus results are being withheld because Biden did so poorly. Now, how do you defend trying to impeach the president to defeat a candidate that isn't even in the running? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But we will see. We will actually see what happens going forward. The reality of the situation is the situation with Ukraine started because Biden's corruption and nepotism were rampant and were being investigated. And Biden specifically used a quid pro quo and used the leverage of the federal government to get that prosecutor fired. So that's where the basis of it all came. Okay. Trump wouldn't have even been talking to the president about corruption, but for the situation we had with Biden and his son being so obviously involved in the Burisma case. It's pretty straightforward stuff. Now, what do we have going forward? Tomorrow, I'm going to be at the Bible Museum. There is a wonderful event about the persecution of Christians across the globe. We're going to be talking. We're going to be listening to Dr. Alveda King and a bunch of other great patriots and Americans who have been following this issue of persecution of Christians around the globe for quite some time. They're certainly going to be a wonderful event. I'm excited and certainly thank the individual who made that possible for all of us who are able to go. So it's going to be a wonderful event. And of course, we have CPAC coming up at the end of the month. We have a lot of great things going on. So it's just a busy month, you guys. It's a busy month. And I hope everybody got something wonderful in your acquittal stockings that you put on your mantle on Acquittal Eve. And now it's Acquittal Day. Happy Acquittal Day. Merry Acquittal Day, everybody. Mechanic, no, he says she doesn't want to listen. She doesn't want to listen. There we go. Doesn't want to listen. Her bubble is scripted. It's actually not scripted. I'm literally just talking to you right now. This is how you can tell it's not scripted because I actually talk to you and answer your comments. You guys are cute. You guys are cute. There we go. This is what it's really about. Psychotria. I was a blind Democrat for 50 years. Now an R just to vote in the primaries. I'm the same way. I was a registered independent for 27 years. Now I am in a closed primary district, the District of Columbia. And of course, then I am now a registered Republican. So, because the Democrats crashed America. You know how else was a registered Republican? My black Uber driver. We had a good time today. I got in the car, I had my MAGA hat on from the protest. He said, oh, what was going on down there? I'm like, oh, they're protesting Trump being acquitted. And he's like, oh, I'm like, I love Trump. He's like, I love Trump too. We had a good old talk. We talked about the Democrats, how they're losing the black vote. We had a great conversation about they're losing their base because they're so focused on this witch hunt. They're not focused on policies. They're not doing anything. And you're going to keep losing votes this way, Democrats. So you know what, Nancy, rip up all the papers you want. Left, continue to be angry. Go continue to bang your buckets and make claims that the president is guilty, no matter what they say. No matter what they say. But the reality of the situation is, in the official court, the United States Senate, President Trump has been acquitted today. Congratulations to our great president. We look forward to 2020 and the election. And what I will say to all the lefties who continue to work to try to pick a Democrat. All right, let's play a little bit of the Deplorable Choir while we're closing out. And I'm going to eat some dinner and just enjoy this beautiful, deplorable, what is the concert? Acquittal Eve. The Deplorable Choir, you guys.
Well, I love Trump, but I hate that. I know she'd like to think she'd have my vote if it weren't for my husband. But today we're setting her real straight that we were the ones to choose. We might be just white men both, but we know we don't like you. So Hillary, why are you still here?
She's coming back, you guys. She's going to be here this whole election. I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up on the Democratic ticket. It's going to be a fun year, you guys. Until next time, I love y'all. This is your girl, Suzzanne Monk. Jumping out.
When you gave your concession.